ते राजा वरुणो ध्रुवं देवो बृहस्पतिः ध्रुवन्तीन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च राष्ट्रं धारयतां ध्रुवम्। ओम अपोपस्पृश्यात्। ओम अच्युताय नमः। ओम अनंताय नमः। ओम गोविंदाय नमः। अपोपस्पृश्यात्। आगमार्थं तु देवानां गमनार्थं तु रक्षसां कुर्वे गन्तारवं तत्र देवताह्वानलाञ्छनं कंठस्थिताय गरुडाय नमः। दीपदेवी नमो नमः। ओम शुभं करोति कल्याणं आयु आरोग्य संपदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। दीपदेवी नमो नमः। भो दीपदेव रूपस्त्वं कर्म साक्षी विघ्नकृत् यावत् पूजां करिष्यामि तावत् त्वं संस्थिरो भव। दीपदेव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ हस्ते पुष्पं गृहीत्वा संकल्पः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। प्राणायाम्य ओम भूः ओम भुवः ओम स्वः ओम महः ओम जनः ओम तपः ओम सत्यं ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। आपो ज्योतिरस्वमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरों तरेव लग्नं सुरिनं तरेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तरेव विद्याबलं दयाबलं तरेव लक्ष्मीपते गौरीपते ध्यङ्घ्रेगं स्मरामि। शुभे शोभने मुहूर्त्याद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीयपरार्धे श्वेतवराहकल्पे सप्तमे वैवस्वत्मन्वन्तरे अष्टाविंशतितमे कलियुगे कलिप्रथम चरणे भूर्लोकान्तर्गतोत्तरअमेरिकाखण्डे कैनडादेशे एजाक्स नगरे संकटमोचन श्री हनुमान मंदिरे शुभे दिन शोभने मुहूर्ते येषां यजमानानां टेक योर नेम्स इन माइंड्स एवरीवन। येषां यजमानानां सकुटुम्बस्थानां लोकाः समस्ताः क्षेमस्थैर्यधैर्यवीरविजय आयु आरोग्यमैश्वर्याभिवृद्ध्यर्थं समस्तमङ्गलावाप्त्यर्थं समस्तदुरितोपशान्त्यर्थं चिन्तितमनोरथवाप्त्यर्थं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्ध्यर्थं सर्वारिष्टशान्त्यर्थं श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत श्री रामचंद्र प्रीत्यर्थं वीर हनुमत प्रीत्यर्थं धर्मार्थ कामोक्षं चतुर्विध पुरुषार्थ सिद्ध्यर्थं अद्य अहम महागणपति पूजनम श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती पूजनम श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्र पूजनम हनुमत पूजनम राधा कृष्ण चंद्र पूजनम सदाशिव अभिषेकाराधनं च करिष्येति संकल्प्य अपोपस्पृश्यात् श्री गणेश ध्यानम। Clasp our hands as we contemplate in Ganesh ji. ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। ओम पादयोः पाद्यं समर्पयामि। अर्घ्यमाचमनीयं शरीरे स्नानं च समर्पयामि। श्री गणेशाय नमो नमः। अर्चनम्। ओम सुमुखाय नमः। ओम एकदन्ताय नमः। ओम कपिलाय नमः। ओम गजकर्णकाय नमः। ओम लंबोदराय नमः। ओम विकटाय नमः। ओम विनायकाय नमः। ओम धूम्रकेतवे नमः। ओम गणाध्यक्षाय नमः। ओम फालचंद्राय नमः। ओम गजाननाय नमः। ओम वक्रतुंडाय नमः। ओम हेरंभाय नमः। ओम स्कंदपूर्वजाय नमः। नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि श्रीगणेशाय नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तारिक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रीगणेशाय नमो नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि दीपं दर्शयामि नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि श्रीगणेशाय नमो नमः। एलालवङ्गकर्पूरताम्बूलानि च समर्पयामि। Let us pray to Ganeshji, seeking his blessings with final prarthana. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। मूषिकवाहनमोदकहस्ते चामरकर्णविलम्बितसूत्र वामन रूप महेश्वर पुत्र विघ्न विनायक पाद नमस्ते। गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्। श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। अथ श्रीगणेशपञ्चरत्नस्तोत्रम्। ॐ मूलाकरात् मोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतं सकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिते भदैत्यकम् नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम्। न तेतरातिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न ताधिकापदुत्तरम्। सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं तमाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरम्। समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं धरे धरोदरं वरं वरे भवक्रमक्षरम्। कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्कृतां नमस्करोमि भास्वरम्। अकिञ्चनार्तिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं स्वारिगर्वचर्वणम्। प्रपञ्चनाशभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणम् कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणम्। नितान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तिमन्तकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमन्तहीनमन्तरायकृत्तनम्। हृदन्तरे निरन्तरं वसन्तमेव योगिनां तमेकदन्तमेव तं विचिन्तयामि सन्ततम्। महागणेश
पञ्चरत्नमाधरेण योऽन्वहं प्रजल्पति प्रभातके
हृदि स्मरन् गणेश्वरम्
आरोग्यतां दोषतां सुसाहितीं सुपुत्रतां
समाहितायुरष्टभूतिमभ्युपैति सोचिरात् श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये
नमः। वेदोत्तरमन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि।
बोलिए गणेश भगवान की जय। श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती पूजन। We pray to Jagrambe Ma, seeking her blessings. Om Shri Durga Devi Dhyanam. अष्टौ भुजङ्गिं महिषस्य मर्दिनीं सशङ्खचक्रां शरशूलधारिणीं तां दिव्ययोगिं सहजातवेदसिंह दुर्गां सदाहं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्री जगदम्बा दुर्गा देवी नमो नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि महालक्ष्मी नमो नमः। विप्रीत लक्ष्मी माँ। ओम हिरण्यवर्णां हरिणीं सुवर्णरजतस्रजां चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावह। महालक्ष्मी नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि महासरस्वत्यै नमो नमः। ॐ मेधा देवी जुषमाणा नागा विश्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्य माना महासरस्वत्यै नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि आसनार्थे पुष्पदलानि समर्पयामि। ॐ जातवेदसे स्वनवामसो ममराति यतो निरहाति वेदः सनः परशरति दुर्गानि विश्वा नावेव सिन्धुन्दरतात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। सुतरसे तरसे नमः। श्री दुर्गा देवी अर्चना। ओम दुर्गायै नमः। ओम माहेश्वर्यै नमः। ओम शिवप्रियायै नमः। ओम मंदारवासिन्यै नमः। ओम अर्कायै नमः। ओम गिरिसुतायै नमः। ओम धात्र्यै नमः। ओम महामायायै नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ओम विष्णुपत्न्यै नमः। ओम पद्मवासिन्यै नमः। ओम पद्माक्ष्यै नमः। ओम धनप्रदायिन्यै नमः। ओम महादेव्यै नमो नमः। ओम क्रियाशक्त्यै नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम महासरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम वाग्देव्यै नमः। ओम ब्रह्मपत्न्यै नमः। ओम वीणाधारिण्यै नमः। ओम चतुर्भुजायै नमः। ओम चतुराननवल्लभायै नमः। श्री वाग्देव्यै नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। धूपदीपमहानैवेद्यम्। ओम आर्द्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावह। श्री जगदम्बायै नमो नमः। ओम सनः परशरति दुर्गानि विश्वा क्षामद्देवति दुरतात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषि गमीद्योऽत्वरेषु सनच्चहोतानव्यस्य सत्से। श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वतीभ्यो नमः। सुगन्धधूपमाघ्रापयामि। धूपानन्तरमिरमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। ओम सनः परशरति दुर्गानीति मंत्रेण आर्द्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं सुवर्णां हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावः। श्रीजगदम्बायै नमो नमः। सुगन्धधूपमाघ्रापयामि दीपं दर्शयामि। श्रीदुर्गादेव्यै नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। दिव्यमङ्गलदीपं दर्शयामि। दीपानन्तरविरमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। सर्वरक्षान् धारयामि। नैवेद्यम् ॐ अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे परप्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वती। ॐ प्राणे स्वाहा पने स्वाहा व्याने स्वाहा उदाने स्वाहा समाने स्वाहा ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा ब्रह्मणिमात्मा। श्रीजगदम्बायै नमो नमः। सर्वमहानैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। इलालवङ्गकर्पूरताम्बूलानि च समर्पयामि। श्रीदुर्गादेवी नमः। महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीदुर्गादेवी प्रार्थना। विप्रेत माता जी will chant Kunjika Stotram. अथ सिद्ध कुंजिका स्तोत्रम शिवोवाच शृणु देवी
प्रवक्ष्यामि कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रमुत्तमम् येन मन्त्रप्रभावेन चण्डिजाप शुभो भवेत्। न कवचं नार्गला स्तोत्रं कीलकं न रहस्यकं न सूक्तं नापि ध्यानं च न न्यासो न च वार्चनम्। कुञ्जिका पाठमात्रेण दुर्गा पाठफलं लभेत्। अतिगुह्यतरं देवी देवानामपि दुर्लभम्। गोपनीयं प्रयत्नेन स्वयोनिरेव पार्वती। मारणं मोहनं वश्यं स्तम्भन उच्चाटनाधिकं। पादमात्रेण संसिद्ध्येत कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रमुत्तमम्। अथ मन्त्रः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विद्ये। ॐ ग्लौं हूं क्लीं जुं सः ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल। ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विद्ये। ज्वालाहं सं लं क्षं फट् स्वाहा इति मन्त्रः। नमस्ते रुद्ररूपिण्यै नमस्ते मधुमर्दिनि नमः कैटवहारिण्यै नमस्ते महिषार्दिनि नमस्ते शुम्भहन्त्रै च निशुम्भासुरघातिनि। जाग्रतं हि महादेवी जपं सिद्धं कुरुष्व मे। ऐंकारी सृष्टिरूपायै ह्रींकारी प्रतिपादिका क्लींकारी कामरूपिण्यै बीजरूपे नमोऽस्तु ते। चामुण्डा चण्डघाती च यैकारी वरदायिनी विच्चे चाभयदा नित्यं नमस्ते मन्त्ररूपिणी। धां धीं धुं धुर्जते पत्नीं वां विं भुं वागदीश्वरी। क्रां क्रीं क्रूं कालिका देवी शां शिं शुं मे शुभं कुरु। हुं हुं हुंकाररूपिण्यै जं 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 जम्बनादिनि। भ्रां भ्रीं भ्रूं भैरवी भद्रे भवान्यै ते नमो नमः। औं कं चं दं पं यं शं विं दुं ऐं विं हं क्षं दिचाग्रं त्रोते त्रोते लिप्तं कुरु कुरु स्वाहा। पां पिं पुं पार्वती पूर्ण खां किं खुं खेचली तथा। सां सिं सुं सप्तशती दिव्य मन्त्रसिद्धिं कुरुष्व मे। इदं तु कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रं मन्त्रजागार्ति हेतवे। अभक्तेनैव दातव्यं गोपितं रक्ष पार्वती। यस्तु कुञ्चिकया देवी
हीनां सप्तशतीं पठेत् न तस्य
जायते सिद्धिररण्ये रोधनं यथा इति श्रीरुद्रयामले गौरीतन्त्रे शिवपार्वती संवादे कुञ्चिका स्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
बोलिए जगदम्बे मैया की जय। नेक्स्ट विद पूजा तो भगवान श्री राम परिवार, हनुमान जी एंड राधा कृष्ण भगवान। श्री रामचंद्र ध्यान पुष्पं गृहीत्वा ओम वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले हैमे महामंडपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने संस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वमुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलम्। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत श्री रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। वीर हनुमध्यायम् आसनं समर्पयामि ध्यानं कृत्वा रत्नसिंहासनं समर्पयामि। श्री हनुमध्यानम्। ॐ यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसन्तकम्। श्री हनुमते नमः। ध्यायामि आवाहयामि। पंचमुखी हनुमते नमः। राधा कृष्णभ्यां नमः। ॐ कृष्ण त्वदीय पदपङ्कज पञ्जरान्ते अद्यैव मे विशतु मानसराजहंसः। प्राणप्रयाण समये कपवत् पित्तैः कंठावरोधन विद्धौ स्मरणं कुतस्ते। श्री राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। आवाहयामि स्थापयामि पूजयामि। श्री वेंकटेशाय नमः। ॐ कौशल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा संध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमाह्निकम्। उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविन्द उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकान्ता त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु। श्री वेंकटेशाय नमः। बालकृष्णाय नमः। सत्यनारायणाय नमः। श्रीचक्रदेवे नमो नमः। अथ पाद्यम् ॐ सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात् सभूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलं पुरुष एवेदं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यं उतामृतत्वशेषानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो जायागिस्य पुरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादोर्दौदय पुरुषः पादोऽस्येह भवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामत् शासनान् शने अभि अर्चना। ओम रामाय नमः। ओम रघुनाथाय नमः। ओम नाथाय नमः। ओम सीतापतये नमः। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम दशरथनंदनाय नमः। ओम ईश्वराय नमः। ओम सीतादेवे नमः। ओम लक्ष्मणाय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमो नमः। नानाविध परिमलपत्र पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ॐ हं हनुमते नमः। ॐ रामदूताय नमः। ॐ रामभक्ताय नमः। ॐ आञ्जनेयाय नमः। ॐ महावीराय नमः। ॐ महाबलपराक्रमाय नमः। ॐ लक्ष्मणप्राणधात्रे नमः। नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ॐ कृष्णाय नमः। ॐ गोपीजन्नवल्लभाय नमः। ॐ योगेश्वराय नमः। ॐ मधुसूदनाय नमः। ॐ अनन्ताय नमः। ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। राधादेव्यै नमो नमः। नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ॐ वेङ्कटेशाय नमः। ॐ सत्यनारायणाय नमः। ॐ महाविष्णवे नमः। ॐ श्रीचक्रदेव्यै नमः। ॐ बालकृष्णाय नमो नमः। नानाविधपरिमलपत्रपुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। धूपदीपनैवेद्यं श्रीलक्ष्मी नृसिंहभ्यां नमः। ॐ ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृतः ऊरुतरस्य द्वैषः पद्भ्यां शूद्रो अजायत। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। धूपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। श्री राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। धूपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। सर्वरक्षान् धारयामि। दिव्यमङ्गलदीपम् ॐ चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षो सूर्यो अजायथ मुखारिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणात् वायुरजायत। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री वीर हनुमते नमो नमः। दिव्यमंगलदीपं दर्शयामि। राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। दिव्यमंगलदीपं दर्शयामि। दीपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। सकलाराधनैः सुवर्चितम्। ॐ सर्वेभ्यो देवेभ्यो नमः। दिव्यमङ्गलदीपं दर्शयामि। दीपानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। नैवेद्यं ॐ शर्कराखण्डखाद्यानि दधिक्षीरघृतानि च आहारं भक्ष्यभोजामिं नैवेद्यं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। श्री हनुमते नमो नमः। महानैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः। नैवेद्यानन्तरमिदमाचमनीयं समर्पयामि। इलालवङ्गकर्पूरताम्बूलानि समर्पयामि। प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी। प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी। मेरे सिर पे भी अब हाथ धर दीजिए। प्रार्थना है यही मेरी हनुमान जी। मेरे सिर पे भी अब हाथ धर दीजिए। राम सीता का दर्शन करा के मुझे। राम सीता का दर्शन करा के मुझे। मेरे सपने को साकार कर दीजिए। मेरे सपने को साकार कर दीजिए। श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः। हनुमते नमः। We'll sing Hanuman Chalisa together. Everyone please join. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारे। बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु, जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरा पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करी देखो आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनी देखो रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय संजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हारो यश गावै, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरी मुख माई, जल दिलांघि गय अचरज नाई। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगमय अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब तुम साचा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है पर से जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असुवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकाल रघुवरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चितना धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़ै हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्ध साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, मेरे प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलिए पवन सुत हनुमान की। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति, त्वमेव शरणं मम। तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष हनुमत। रक्ष रक्ष श्री सीतारामचंद्र। रक्ष रक्ष राधा कृष्णभ्यां नमः। अनंत कोटि प्रक्ष नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। श्री सांब सदा शिवाय नमः। ओम शिवे भक्तिः, शिवे भक्तिः, शिवे भक्तिर्भवे भवे। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति, त्वमेव शरणं मम। श्री सांब सदा शिवाय नमः। Next we'll do puja to Bhagwan Shiva. And you can follow by touching the different parts of your body. We'll transform our bodies into a mandir for Bhagwan Shiva. Start first by placing your right hand on top of your head. Om Asya Shri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya Aghora Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha Sankarshana Murti Swarupo Yosavaditya Paramapurusasya Sharudra Devata. Om Namah Shivaya ti Bijam, Shivataraya ti Shakti, Mahadevaya ti Kilakam, Shri Samba Sadashiv Prasad Siddhyarte Jape Viniyogaha. Om Agnihotratmane Angushtabhyam Namaha. Om Darsha Purnama Satmane Tarjani Bhyam Namaha. ओम चातुर्मास्यात्मने मध्यमाभ्यां नमः। ओम निरूढपशुबन्धात्मने अनामिकाभ्यां नमः। ओम ज्योतिष्ठोमात्मने कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः। ओम सर्वकृत्वात्मने करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ओम अग्निहोत्रात्मने हृदयाय नमः। ओम दर्शपूर्णमासात्मने शिरसे स्वाहा। ओम चातुर्मास्यात्मने शिखायै वषट्। ओम निरूढपशुबन्धात्मने कवचाय हुम्। ओम ज्योतिष्ठोमात्मने नेत्रत्रयाय वौषट्। ओम सर्वकृत्वात्मने अस्राय फट्। भूर्भुवस्वरोम इति ऋग्बन्धः। हाथ जोड़िए, क्लास्प योर हैंड्स प्लीज। ध्यानम्। ओम आपातालनभस्थलान्त भुवन ब्रह्मांडमाविस्फुरत् ज्योतिस्पातिङ्गलिङ्गमौलिविलसत्पूर्णेन्दुवान्तामृतैः अस्तोकाप्लुतमेकमीशमनिशं रुद्रानुवाकाञ्जपन् ध्यायेद्दीप्सितसिद्धये ध्रुवपरं विप्रोऽभिषिञ्चेच्छिवं ब्रह्माण्डव्याप्तदेहा भसितहिमरुचा भासमाना भुजङ्गैः कंठे काला कपर्दा कलित शशिकला चंडकोदंडहस्ताः तरक्षा रुद्राक्षमाला प्रकटित विभवा शांभवा मूर्ति भेदाः रुद्रा श्री रुद्र सूक्त प्रकटित विभवा नः प्रयच्छन्तु सौख्यम्। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत नशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्रीमन्महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम शंच मे मयश्च मे प्रियंच मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रं च मे श्रेयश्च मे वसश्च मे यशश्च मे भगश्च मे द्रव्यं मे यंता च मे धर्ता च मे क्षेमश्च मे दितिश्च मे विश्वंच मे संविच्च मे ज्ञात्रं च मे सोश्च मे प्रसूश्च मे सीरंच मे लयश्च मृतंच मे अमृतंच मे यक्ष्मंच मे नामेच्च मे जीवातुश्च मे दीर्घायत्वंच मे नमित्रंच मे भयंच मे सुगंच मे शयनंच मे सुषा च मे सुरिनंच मे। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Please come for Abhishek, everyone. Take the containers, offer. Please take some sanitizer when you're done. Come, everyone. नमो भगवते रुद्राय नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवोतोतेशवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः। या तैष शिवतमा शुम्बभूवते ननुः शिवा शरव्या या तवतया नो रुद्रमृडया या ते रुद्रशिवा तनोर्घोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवा शन्तमया गिरिशन्ता भिचाकशीः यामिषं गिरिशन्तहस्ते विवर्षस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रतां कुरु माहिगं शिवपुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वत्सा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि यथा न सर्वमिज्जगत् यक्ष्मगं सुमना असत् अध्यवोचरनिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्याभिषक् अहीगिश्च सर्वाञ्जम्भयन् सर्वाश्चयातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुणौ तबभ्रुसुमङ्गलः ये चेमागं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षुश्रुता सहस्रशो वैशाखं हेडयीमहे असौ यो सर्पतिनीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशनुरहार्यः उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मृदयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अथो यस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमभयोराट्नियोर्जां यास्यते हस्तैशवपराता भगवो वप अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगं सहस्राक्षसते शुधे निशीलशल्याणां मुखा शिवो न सुमना भव वे जन्दनोक्कपर्दिनो विशल्यो वाणवागं मुता अनेसनस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिर्मी दुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते दनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय दृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो यिषिधिः सवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम्। ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हर हर नमः पार्वती पते। हर हर महादेव। As we continue with Abhishekam, we'll sing Lingashtakam, at the end of each verse we'll chant Om Namah Shivaya. If you know the words, you join with me. If not, please join in the chant Om Namah Shivaya. Sada Shivaya Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Brahma Murari Surarchit Lingam Nirmal Bhasit Shobhit Lingam Janam Chatukha Vinashak Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Deva Muni Pravarar Chitlingam Kamadaha Karuna Karalingam Ravana Darpa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Sarva Sugandhi Sudevita Lingam Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam Siddhya Surasura Vandita Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Kanaka Mahamani Bhushit Lingam Harlipati Veshtita Shobhit Lingam Dakshasuraja Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Kumkum Chandana Lepita Lingam Pankajahara Sushobhita Lingam Sanchita Papa Vinaya प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय लिङ्गाष्टकमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति शिवेन सह मोदते। हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। We'll continue bhajans.
वक्रकुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंद। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंद। शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंद। सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सबला। सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सबला। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन। मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगलदाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता। मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगलदाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंद। मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरी बस ही राम सिया मानस मोरी। मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरी बस ही राम सिया मानस मोरी। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन। गाये गणपति जगवन्दन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंद। जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा गाइए गणपति जगवंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन।
शिव शंभो दीनाखे बंधु नमो 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 गिरिजापति गंगाधर हरिहर नमो नमो शिव शंभो दीनाखे बंधु
नमो नमो
गिरिजापति गंगाधर
नमो नमो
चंद्र त्रिपुरारी सुख वरदानी नीलकंठ स्वामी विशाल की बलिहारी महाकाल विकराल विषभ की असुहारी उन्नमाल लाछन विशाल की बलिहारी अविनाशी सुखरानी सुरवर नमो नमः
नमो नमः
गिरिजापति गंगाधर हरिहर नमो नमः शिव शंभो नीलों के बंधु नमो नमः
नमो नमः
गिरिजापति गंगाधर हरिहर
नमो नमः
विनती सुनो सबकी कल्याण करो जग का सदराधिका करके उदार करो दुर्गा उदार करो दुर्गा तुम विनती सुनो सबकी कल्याण करो जग का
चार खूंट तेरे राम रे तुझो करे सो होए तुझ सा न दूजा कोई रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम रे तीन लोक पर राज तिहारा चार खूंट तेरे राम रे तुझो करे सो होए तुझ सा ना दूजा कोई रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री प्रभु तुम्हारे हाथ हजार प्रभु तुम्हारे हाथ हजार सदा रखियो लाज हमार ओ तुम हो जगत के स्वामी हम हैं मूर्ख अज्ञानी करने लगे तो निर्वाण रे रखियो नजर श्री राम तीन लोक पर राज तिहारा चार खूंट तेरे राम रे तुझो करे सो होए तुझ सा ना दूजा कोई रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री तोरे रचना सब संसार तोरे रचना सब संसार तोरे लीला परमपार ओ संकट को तारे तू ही मुझे उबारे तू ही दुख भन जन तेरो नाम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम तीन लोक पर राज तिहारा चार खूंट तेरे राम रे तुझो करे सो होए तुझ सा ना दूजा कोई रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम रे तीन लोक पर राज तिहारा चार खूंट तेरे राम रे तुझो करे सो होए तुझ सा ना दूजा कोई रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम रे रखियो नजर श्री राम
श्री रामचंद्राय नमः। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। महासरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। We contemplate on Bhagwan Shri Ram. We submit to you this morning, Prabhu, seeking your blessings. You have been so kind to all of us. When we least expected, you bless us in so many different ways. We sit in satsang this morning and we want to express our gratitude for all your blessings, all your kindness, all your love. With these thoughts in our minds, let us think of Bhagavan. Think of your Ishta Devata, any aspect of Bhagavan. Om Manojavam Marutatullya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadhe. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. 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 Shri Sita Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugna Hanumat Samet Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namo Namaha. Ram Ram. I can't hear my friends at the back. Ram Ram sabko ye. Ab awaaz aa rahi hai. Now I can hear you. So Bhakta Jano, this morning we'll talk a little bit about satsang. Sat, truth, and sang, the association with truth or truthful people. So what we're doing here is satsang we have here. Satsang can be broadly divided into 4 groups. The first one is love and communion for Sat. Because of our love for Bhagavan, we gather in such a setting. And of course, our primary goal in satsang is to understand the Satya. So that's the first reason why we do satsang. The second reason comprises of fellowship of enlightened soul, great individuals who have realized Bhagavan already, God realized soul, to sit in their company and to learn from them. Then the third aspect of satsang is like we gather in such a setting here where all of us are only spiritual aspirants. We have a little bit knowledge of Bhagavan, yes, but the desire is there to learn more. That thirst is there to understand why we are here, why we face all of these challenges, how the words of Bhagavan, how the Shastra can help us to overcome these challenges. And then the last aspect of satsang, if you do not get the first 3, then you must sit with Bhagavad Gita in your hand and read. Satsang by yourself or with your family members and friends. So we all do satsang regularly. We must be involved in satsang. As a matter of fact, everything you and I know about spirituality, about Bhagavan, or about our lives is through satsang. Isn't that true, my friends? All the pratna that you know, all the mantras you know is through satsang. From a tender age, that is why it's so important for us to take our children from a tender age to satsang. Go to mandir, sit and listen. There's always some important lesson during satsang. So whatever we have learned is through satsang, through association with bhaktas of Bhagavan. And the saints and sages of ancient India, they have come to the conclusion that this is the most effective way for us to grow spiritually. All our friends from all religions, all the great religions of the world do satsang. Isn't that true? They have different names for it. They go on special days to their places of worship. But in essence, they're going for satsang. They go and sit among fellow bhaktas, fellow spiritual aspirants, and there is a reading from their scripture, and they learn from that. So everybody does satsang. We must go regularly to satsang. I know summer is coming, and then, the winter was so long. And, it's hard for us sometimes, to leave on Sunday mornings, to get up, winter time and come, but we must make the sacrifice. So, we will look at a few chaupas this morning from Ramcharitamanas to help us to understand satsang. So as I said earlier, everything we learned so far is through satsang. Tulsidas ji says in this chaupai, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Mati ki rati gati bhuti bhalai, Mati ki rati gati bhuti bhalai, जब जेहि जतन जहाँ जेहि पाई, जब जेहि जतन जहाँ तेहि पाई, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम सो जानव सतसंग प्रभाव, सो जानव सतसंग प्रभाव, लोकहु वेद न आन उपाऊ, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम. So at the very beginning of the Ramcharitamanas, Tulsidas ji speaks of the importance of satsang. What he says, Mati, anyone who has attained wisdom, knowledge of the self is only through satsang. Anyone who has gained spiritual knowledge or even secular knowledge, you go to school, you listen to your teacher, the teacher teaches, that's a form of satsang as well. You go and you listen and you learn. So anyone who has attained mati, wisdom, kirti, glory, famous people, whatever we have acquired in life is through satsang. Mati, kirti, gati, those who have attained moksha as well is through satsang. As a matter of fact, all these great swamis, they are called God-realized soul. They have attained moksha with Bhagavan already, but yet they sit for satsang. They sit with their shishya, or sometimes they sit among themselves. As a matter of fact, there's a special time, the rainy season in India. You know, a sadhu does not stay at one place for long. When I say sadhu, I mean a sadhu in the true sense of the word. One who has given up his or her attachment. Such an individual does not remain at one place for a long time. They wander all over the place. But around the rainy season in India, after Guru Purnima, then for 4 months, these sadhus would gather together for satsang. And these are Brahmagyani. They have attained oneness with Bhagavan already. But they know the importance of satsang. They will sit among themselves. They will discuss Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra. What are the Brahma Sutras? Vyasa composed about 2,000 aphorisms. They're called Brahma Sutra. How we should interpret Bhagavad Gita, how we should interpret Upanishads. So the sadhus themselves gather for satsang. And sometimes we make excuses. Oh, there is satsang bhaiya. Chalo hamare saath. Are, why should I go to satsang? I'll hear the same thing over and over. We hear this excuse sometimes. But there is something magical about Bhagavan's Katha. It doesn't matter how many times you heard it, you learn something new. Isn't that true? You look at different individuals who present the Katha in such a way to capture your attention,
to make you look at the same story from a different point of view. So it doesn't matter how many times you've heard Ramcharitamanas, Bhagavad Katha, all of these kathas of Bhagavan. You go and you sit and you listen. So whatever we've gained, glory, liberation, and wisdom is through satsang, my friends. Whenever you have an opportunity, don't give up it. Just go. We're all busy. Sometimes you say, Panditji, I can't come to satsang. Just come for a few moments. Sit quietly. Listen. Put whatever is taught in satsang into practice. So, bhuti, whatever material prosperity we have attained as well, is through satsang. Bhagavan's kripa. Bhalai, as well as welfare. So Tulsi Das is saying, whatever we learn, all of these things we just talked about is through satsang. So janav satsang prabhav lokahu bedana anab upau. Know it to be the result of association with the saints and sages. There is no other way mentioned in the Vedas or in any other source of knowledge. Through satsang, we gain all of these things. Now, sometimes we go to satsang goes on, and we may have a question to ask during satsang. You know, in the old days, those are, from Guyana, other parts of the world, if you have a question in the old days, and you want to ask the Swamiji or the Panditji who is delivering a presentation from the Shastra, you dare not ask the question. That was not right. Probably was applicable at that time, many years ago. But now we should encourage our children to ask questions. If you have a question, ask a question. But there's ways of asking questions. Some people go to satsang, they have a little bit of book knowledge. And they'll go and they'll test the Panditji, aisa mat karo. Don't do it like that. Don't ask a question to test the person's knowledge. You ask a question, why? Because you have an inquiring mind. And in our dharma, in Vedic dharma, you are allowed to question every aspect of the Shastra. Look at some of the greatest Swamis. In the initial stages of their lives, before they went into satsang and gained knowledge, they had so many doubts. Some of them didn't believe. Swami Vivekananda did not believe in Murti Puja. Every day he would argue with Guru Ramachandra Paramhans, Ramakrishna Paramhans. "Main Murti Puja nahi manta." Then until his Guruji touched him one day in front of Kali Ma and he felt the power of Murti Puja. So have doubts in the initial stages. This is not a pill for you to swallow. Believe as I say and don't question. This is not what Dharma teaches us, Pyare. You ask questions. But ask in such a way that you want to learn. By asking questions, you'll remove your doubts. These children, they ask some unique questions sometimes. Sometimes the questions baffle us sometimes. I have to tell them, beta, I will get back to you with an answer. We have to encourage them. They must ask questions. So whatever we gain is through satsang. And next we look at the most famous chaupai from Ramcharitamanas. Binu satsanga vivekana hoi. Most of you have gone to satsang, you know the chaupai by heart. Chalo mere saath kaiye. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Binu satsang vivek na hoi. Now he sings. Binu
satsang vivek na hoi.
Ram kripa binu sulabh na sohi.
Ram kripa binu sulabh na sohi.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
So wisdom does not, only in the presence of saints and sages we can get knowledge. Mahatma. You know, later on in the Uttarakhand, when Tulsidas, he talked about Santa and the Sant, the saintly and the unsaintly, he used a beautiful metaphor. When we're in the presence of saints and sages, there's so much joy. We feel a connection. There's something unique about the Mahatma. The aura of the Mahatma is so strong that we feel as if we're connected to this person. When we sit in satsang and we're in the presence of such a person, it's a blessing, my friends. Ask such a person question, "Main kuch bhi nahi janta." I may not able to answer your questions, but when you are blessed to be in satsang, in the presence of a Mahatma, Jivana Mukta, one who has already attained moksha, ask those individual questions. And the sad thing is that you don't find those individuals do not leave the Himalayas. They are away from the hustle and bustle of society. They live among themselves. They don't get carried away with all of these maya, all these elusive things. You can find them in Rishikesh. You can find some of them in Vrindavan. You can find some of them at the 12 Jyotirlinga. If you are blessed to be in the company of such a person, first thing you prostrate. As a matter of fact, it happens instantaneously before you think of anything else. Something tells you, Charan sparsh karo. Lay it flat on the ground like a log, Sashtanga Pranam. There's something within you that tells you you must do it. And when you do pranam to such an individual, ask questions. So only in the presence of such individuals we can gain knowledge of the self. And when we speak of knowledge again, the knowledge that we speak about is a knowledge that having known which there is nothing else more you ought to know. Atmagyan. Only from such individuals you can get this knowledge. Knowledge of the self. It covers every aspect of life. Having gained that knowledge, you become also Jivan Mukta. And I always like to remind you that there's a misconception that we have to die to attain moksha. Shastra aisa kabhi nahi kaha. The Shastra never said that. If you don't attain moksha while you're alive, you have to come back again, Pyari. You have to come back again in this world. So the goal is to be in the company of such individuals so that we can gain knowledge from them. And when the karmas that brought this body into existence, it will fall. It has to fall. It must die. So when such an individual gives up the body, the individual becomes one with Bhagavan. That's moksha. We hear sometimes you go to funeral and, this person attained moksha, no. We have to rise above all of these limitations. You have to become one with Bhagavan while you are alive before you attain moksha. If not, we have to come to this Bhavasagar again, Pyare. You have to take birth, you have to learn to walk, you have to learn to speak, you have to fight with your friends, you have to go to school. This one person, all of these challenges we have to go through again. Look how many lives we have had in the past, and we have done all of these things. When do we gain moksha? Here and right now. Don't put it off. So when you have an opportunity to go to satsang, only through satsang we can come to this realization. If not, so many things we have to do within 24 hours. I hear, Pandit ji, मेरे पूजा के लिए मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है पंडित जी. कैसे पूजा करूं? टाइम नहीं है. I don't have time to do puja, Pandit ji. अरे भैया, certain things you have to do for yourself. Certain things we can only advise, the statements there, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't. That's the job of the Panditji and the spiritual aspirant and the sadhu, just to encourage you. If you can't help yourself, what can the Pope Panditji do or the sadhuji do? What can such an individual do? Just to encourage you. You know, satsang transforms us from a wanting person to a contented person. Within 24 hours, within a given day, look how many desires go through our minds. I challenge you. It will be hard for you to make a note of each desire that goes through your mind within 24 hours. You can't do it. Too many. But if you want to challenge yourself, just take a little piece of paper and write down how many desires go through your mind within 24 hours. Countless desires go through our minds. And the strange thing is that we feel by fulfilling these desires, I'll be happy, I'll be contented, I'll have everything I need. And it's like you call in Sanskrit, Mriga Trishna, it's a mirage. The deer sees the water and the deer runs towards the water. And when the deer goes there, the water disappears. It's called Mriga Trishna in Vedanta. This mirage deludes all of us. When I get this, I'll be happy. When I get that, I'll be contented. When my children are grown up in their career, I'll be happy. I don't want anything more, Bhagavan. I'll beg for now. After that, I wouldn't beg for anything. When those desires are fulfilled, we still keep begging and still keep begging. When are we going to say, Bhagavan, aapne bahut diya. You have given me so much, Bhagavan. I don't want anything more. I'll dedicate the rest of my life towards satsang. When we go to satsang and we get Atmagyan, there'll be no more longing in our hearts. Only through satsang we can learn these things, my friends. So satsang will transform us from a wanting person to a full and complete person. As a matter of fact, everything that we need for true happiness is given to us already. But the problem, हम लोग बाहर खोजते हैं, अंदर नहीं खोजते. We seek this happiness outside, in the external world. We can only find a few fleeting moments of happiness in the external world. And that's good. We're entitled to that. But lasting and true happiness through satsang, we'll find it within. Tulsidas says in the Chaupai, Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sat Sudhar hi Sat Sankat Pai. Sat Sudhar hi Sat Sankat Pai. Paras Paras Pudhatu Sahai. Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram
Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram.
And he used a beautiful metaphor to give us the essence of satsang. Sata Sudarahi Satasangati Pai. And the wicked is transformed through satsang. And you know, this word papa, there's no English equivalent word to papa or papi. Really, it's not a sinner in the sense of meaning that you're condemned. You know the word sinner, when you refer to someone as a sinner, the English connotation is that that's it, hell, you're not getting out of there. You and I have committed many papas. Papa in this context meaning wrong decisions. We've made mistakes. So many opportunities we get to correct those mistakes, to learn from those mistakes through satsang. So the beauty of a satsang, even a wicked person, if a papi goes and sits in satsang, this is the power of satsang. It will transform that person. It will make that person think, why do I do all of these unethical things? There's something greater to life than these things. So this is the power of satsang. And the example is that like a base metal, a piece of iron can be transformed into gold by the touching of the philosopher's stone. So when satsang touches us, it'll transform all of us. As a matter of fact, Tattvamasi, the Vedas get something to say about you. Pragyanam Brahmasi. You're that already. You are Bhagavan in a human form. You're the Atma, pyare. But we don't understand that. Why? Because that I am Atma. I'm not my emotions. This here is within time and space. Satsang will tell us that. Don't get carried away with this. Your beauty, doesn't matter how beautiful or how handsome you are, you will age. That's not who you are. It doesn't matter how nice hairstyle you get, you may lose it. It will get gray. We lose our teeth. Pain and sickness will come. It's a part of life. Ask any elderly person. I'm also getting there. Those who are like me, we're getting there with pain in our joints. That is not who you are. Don't be attached to these external things, pyare. I know pain is there. Bhagavan will help you through your sadhana. Through yoga, Bhagavan will help you. But don't identify with the pain in the body. It's the identification that causes the problem. Only through satsang we can learn this. Only with the association of enlightened individual we can learn these kinds of things and put them into practice. If not, little pain is there, like the world is coming down, like everything is coming to an end. We all feel like that sometimes. There's much more to life than these things. By identifying with emotions, identifying with so many external things that we depend on these things to give us happiness. And they all elude us, pyare. That's why you must go to satsang regularly. You must take your children to satsang. Our children, when they go to school, I saw this morning a video in UK. And Hindu children are being targeted. Over 56% of Hindu children are being targeted for their religion. And people criticize them. All kinds of silly things. It's happening here too. Different parts of the world. Hindu phobia. So when our children go to satsang, and they understand the essence of this religion, when someone tells them something about about Hinduism, they can able to answer and defend themselves. But if the parents, maa baap kuch bhi nahi janta, the parents do not know anything, they're busy working 4 or 5 jobs and not making effort for satsang. We all have to work and take care of bills. But is that what we're living for? No. There's much more to life. You're blessed to born in this dharma. Count yourself extremely blessed. When you understand this dharma, pyare, it's like we have a gem in our hands. And Tulsidas used the example earlier in Balkan, is like a vegetable seller talking about how important this gem is. The vegetable seller does not know what a gem, what a piece of diamond is. So it's like we are trying to talk about this dharma. We're not living it. We're not, enlightening ourselves. Go to satsang and learn more about it. And then we criticize, oh, I'm not a practicing Hindu. And they say with so much pride. Pyare, don't blame that you don't have books. And a lot of information is available. Good and bad information on the internet. I said earlier, the 4th aspect of satsang, if you don't have such a gathering, pick up Bhagavad Gita, pick up Ramcharitamanas, pick up the Upanishads and read. That's a form of satsang. So when our children go to mandir, they go to satsang, they will understand why we do these things, our practices, and they can answer the questions when they ask them. And also when you put a step a little further, when you look into other religions and you see the shortcomings, and when you call it out, then they'll just step by. They have to step back. They can't compare with Vedic Dharma. I'm not saying that we should an eye for an eye or tit for tat, but let our children be involved in satsang. Let them know their dharma. So when anyone tells them anything about Hindu dharma, they can only say we have many gods. But when they understand the concept of symbolism, when I tell them, pyare, my dear friend, look at your religion, look how many symbols you have. Look at what was done in your religion to propagate it. That's why you have such a large following. Muh bankar kuch bhi nahi kahenge. When you give them the right answer, you must be able to defend your dharma. Now, what I find sometimes, our friends from other religion, they go tap doors and they want to convert you and carry this and, oh, come hear about my religion. But how often you as a Hindu say, Are, come here, come my brother, sit here. I heard about your religion. Let me tell you about my religion now. Do the Hindus do that? No, they don't do that. Because they do not know, they don't go to satsang. The moment I used to live in the 90s in Scarborough, and two very good guys, they will come, tap at the door, and want to tell me about their religion. You know, I don't have to take any name, you know what I'm talking about already. So I listened to them once and I said, okay. They didn't allow me to speak. Okay. So the next day, call them in the apartment, have a seat. Listen to them. I said, I brought my Bhagavad Gita. That, of course, up to now I don't know anything about Dharma. That about 20-something years ago. I said, okay, let me show you this passage here from Bhagavad Gita. The moment I quoted the passage, I didn't complete the meaning of the passage, they had to go. Why? We listen to what they have to say about their religion, but we don't tell them what our Dharma has to say. We can only learn about this, our children can only learn about this by coming to satsang. That's the only way they will learn. So satsang helps us on the spiritual path and help us to defend our Dharma as well. So important is satsang, pyare. And time will permit us to look at one more doha. As a matter of fact, this is my favorite doha from from Sundar Khan. Lankini, such a famous doha from when Hanumanji met her in Sundar Khan. Tat swarg apvarg sukha Tat swarg apvarg sukha Dhariyatula ek Dhariyatula ek Tulan tahi sakval mili Jo sukh lav sat sang siyavar Ramchandra ki jai sharanam. Put all the pleasures on one side of a scale, or put satsang on the other side of the scale. Imagine a balance in your hand, all sensual pleasures. Let your mind run astray, just for a moment. Any sensual pleasure you can think about, heaven. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Heaven kahan hai? Swarg kahan hai? Yahan hai. We all want to go to heaven. What you'll do in heaven? If you do not discover who you are, you'll still be a miserable person in heaven. Simple as that. You need to discover who you are. If not, you'll still, the same situation will be there. People will be in heaven there. Good people and bad people, if you think heaven's a place that's only for good people. When you discover who you are, it doesn't matter what situation you live in. It doesn't matter what your circumstances may be, you're always happy because you know who you are. So all the sensual pleasures on one side of the scale and satsang on the other side, satsang will outweigh. Because in such a gathering, we discover who we are. Atmagyan. Shri Ram, very quickly, in the Uttarakhand of Ramcharitamanas, he spoke to Sanat Kumar and his four brothers, the four mind-born sons of Brahma, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanat, and Sanatan and Sanat Kumar. Shri Ram talked about satsang. Last Chaupai, one verse, and we'll conclude. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bade bhagya pahiya satsanga. Bade bhagya pahiya satsanga. बिनहि प्रयास होई भव भंगा बिनहि प्रयास होई भव भंगा श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai
by extreme good luck and Bhagavan's kripa, we have an opportunity to go to satsang. By going to satsang, Tulsidas is saying, "Bina hi prayas," without much effort. Without much effort. You don't have to put too much effort, because when you sit in satsang and you learn, you put it into practice. And what will happen? Hoi bhava bhanga. We'll put an end to the cycle of birth and death. And that's the purpose of human life. Only in the human form you're blessed with buddhi. आप जानते हैं सही क्या है, गलत क्या है. You know what is right and what is wrong. Only in the human form we can put an end to the cycle of birth and death. No other form. When is the right time? Right here, right now. Don't put it off. Don't say when I get old, I'll go more often to satsang. I know so many people who died as soon as they retired. Pandit ji, retirement के बाद मैं मंदिर में आऊँगा, मैं सेवा करूँगा. अरे भैया, ऐसा मत कहो. Don't say that. Do it when you can. We don't know what will happen at the end of the day. So whenever you're blessed to come to satsang, please enjoy. Come and sit, listen. You have heard the katha many times, but listen. The person who presents the katha, we put it in such a way whereby you never looked at the same story in the same way, in the same angle. So there's always something to learn in satsang. And if we don't break this cycle of birth and death in this life, tu ana parega, you have to come again. You don't have control over that. We have to come again. And the avagavan continues, the chakra continues, continue to spin pyare. For us to be happy, when we don't, when you come to satsang, there's always, first and foremost, we leave with important message, and satsang makes us humble. You're forced to be a humble person when you go to satsang. All of us get our ways. Me too. But people who do not go to satsang, who do not understand the spiritual path, they believe for them to be happy, this world revolves around them. I have to be happy. It doesn't matter what happens. But when you go to satsang, you live and let others live. You understand, pyare? The same little bit of divinity within me is in the next person. He or she may not know that, but you know that. And you overlook the mistakes of those people. You overlook the shortcomings. And we can only learn that through satsang. If not, this life becomes a tit for tat. You said something to me, I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to get back even to you always. When we come to satsang, we know that the person does not understand right from wrong. Although the person is blessed with buddhi, the person is not so spiritually evolved to know that he or she is doing the wrong thing and to stop doing it. But you know because you're coming to satsang, so you overlook that person. You try to help that person in the process. Don't put them down. Because in life, we'll meet three kinds of people. You'll meet people just like you. You'll meet people who are not so sophisticated like you. And you'll always find a person better than you. It doesn't matter how much degrees you have. It doesn't matter how smart you may think you be. You'll always find a person smarter than you. When we go to satsang, we learn these things. And we don't judge anyone. We treat everyone with love and respect. Because only through satsang we'll come to that realization. This person also is trying to understand Bhagavan. If I can't say something good to him or her, don't say anything. Don't judge them. So in conclusion, this is our little topic for this morning, satsang. And we'll conclude with one ancient bhajan our foreparents brought with them from India 200 years ago. Manavare Ram Bhajana Jagasar. When you go to satsang, you're told, I always encourage you, chant pyare. Just clap your hands. Clapping your hands, you're chasing away your problems. And we all have too much problems. Just like when you stand under a tree and you clap your hand and the birds fly away. You clap your hands during satsang and you sing, you're chasing away your ignorance, chasing away your doubts, your misconceptions. So whenever you go to satsang, just sing. Bade bade prithvi ke raja chhod gaye darbar. How many great people were here? And how many great civilization rose and they fell? Nothing remains the same. You're not getting out of here alive. It doesn't matter how much you try. That's why it's called Mrityu Lok. इस बात को समझो. Understand this statement. And again, we can learn this thing only through satsang. 4 दिवस जग बीच निवासा बिरथा सकल पसार. You're only here for 4 days, pyare. We make arrangement. We want to do this and have plans. Save for retirement. Invest in RSP. You must do those things. But remember, ye jivan 4 din, 2 din ka. Don't, I always say, and I say this, it may sound funny, some people may not like it, but I say, the Shastra is my evidence. Don't leave too much money for your children. Give them a good education. Take them to satsang. Let them understand dharma. Because I've seen too many cases when parents pass away, there's a big fight within the family for the $2 they left. And brothers and sisters don't speak to each other afterwards when their parents are gone. They fail to realize why they don't go to satsang. They do not know the meaning of life. Kanchana jaisi sundar kaya, palame hovata char. This beautiful body, in an instant will become ashes. Because this body is not yours. Don't get too attached to it. Again, you can only learn these things through satsang. If not, a wrinkle comes up here, we want to take out the wrinkle. Gray hair comes up here, you pull out the gray hair. How much hair are you going to pull? You pull all the hair out of your head. Accept it, pyare. It will grow whole and die. Again, we learn this thing only through satsang. मनवारे राम भजन जगसार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार
मनवारे राम भजन जगसार
हरे राम बड़े बड़े पृथ्वी के राजा बड़े बड़े पृथ्वी के राजा छोड़ गए दरबार छोड़ गए दरबार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे 4 दिवस जग बीच निवासा 4 दिवस जग बीच निवासा बिरथा सकल पसार बिरथा सकल पसार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार मनवारे राम भजन जगसार हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे कंचन जैसी सुंदर काया कंचन जैसी सुंदर काया पल में हो छाय मनवारे राम भजन जग सार मनवारे राम भजन जग सार हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे ब्रह्मानंद करो हरि सुमिरन ब्रह्मानंद करो हरि सुमिरन उतरो भाव जल पार उतरो भाव जल पार मनवारे राम भजन जग सार मनवारे राम भजन जग सार हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे बोलिए रामचंद्र भगवान की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय Thank you everyone for coming for satsang this morning. Remember some of the important things we talk about and try as often as possible to visit satsang. That's the only way we'll understand who we are. Shri Ramachandra Murtaye Namaha. Aarti karenge. Ram Bhaktaya Vidmahe Kapi Sreshthaya Dhimahi. We offer prasad to Bhagavan Shiva and Hanuman ji. Om Brahmarpana Brahmahavi Brahmaganau Brahmanahutam Brahmaevatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Om Prane Swaha Pane Swaha Vyane Swaha Udane Swaha Brahmane Swaha Brahmanematma Mahanevedyam Samarpayami Om Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam निर्भयत्वं मरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वञ्च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत् श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत रामचंद्राय नमः श्री हनुमते नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि अनन्तकोटिप्रदक्षिण नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि श्री राम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्री रामचंद्र मूर्तये नमः ओम आञ्जनेयमतिपातलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिगमनीय विग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि आरती करेंगे खड़े हो जाइए प्लीज कम एवरीवन प्लीज डू नॉट गो on the altar for arati for safety concerns take thali help the children please do it safely and put it back take some sanitizer when you're done आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सिय पी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सिय पी की गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद
वाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद
शुक सनकादिशेष अरु सारद
वेद
सुख संसारी शेष और शारद
बरनी पवन सुत की रतिनी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश
छहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
छहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस
मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस
सारा अंश समत सब ही की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी
गावत संतत शंभो भवानी
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी
अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
व्यास आदि कपिवर्ज बखानी
व्यासियादि कवि वर्ज बकानी
कागभूषुंडि गरुड के की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस पीकी
शुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुवती की
सुभग सिंगारी मोती जुबती की
कलन रोग भव मोरी अमी की
धरण रोग भव मोरी अमी की
तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलित ललित सियपी की
श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री 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 राम जय जय राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम 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 सीता राम
कृपा करके हाथ जोड़िए. Please place your hands nicely like that, children. Everyone, right by your chest. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhos Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravina Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tarastu Me Om Purnamada Purnamidam Vashishyate Om Dev Shanti Antarikshakam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apah Shanti Aushadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. बोलिए रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय. जगदम्बे मैया की जय. हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये. हर हर महादेव. सनातन धर्म की